the forest, where shadows clung like a second skin, stood a shack worn down by time and secrets. Rain, relentless and cold, streaked down its grimy windows, blurring the line between the world outside and the despair within. The camera drifts across the tabletop, lingering on an old, crude map. Its paper is brittle, the ink faded, but a stark X near a place marked Blackwood Creek draws the eye. The focus shifts to Sheriff Brody's face, a mask of grim determination. He holds an old-fashioned telephone receiver, the voice on the other end a frantic, static-list plea for help. A quick succession of images flashes across the screen. Missing person flyers tacked to a community board. Faces of Localza, young hiker, an old fisherman, a teenage couple last seen near the creek. All now just fading photographs under the relentless rain. The whispers had a name, Blackwood Creek. Sheriff Brody's patrol car, its headlights cutting feeble paths through the oppressive gloom, struggled along a muddy, winding back road that seemed to lead nowhere and everywhere at once. The tires spun, slinging mud against the undercarriage, a rhythmic protest against the journey into the wood's dark heart. The vehicle shuddered to a halt before the very shack from the opening shot. The air here was different, thick with an unsettling silence that felt heavier than the damp air. As Brody stepped out, the crunch of his boots on the sodden ground was the only sound. Then, the shack's door creaked open. A figure emerged, gaunt and hunched. It was Silas. The town recluse, his eyes, wide and unnervingly clear, fixed on the sheriff. In one hand, he clutched a rusted shovel like a scepter. The woods have eyes, Silas whispered, his voice a dry rustle of leaves. And they're always hungry. Brody's hand twitched, his fingers instinctively finding the cold, comforting shape of his holster, drawn by a morbid curiosity he couldn't explain. Brody followed the old man deeper into the forest. Silas moved with an unnatural agility, navigating the tangled undergrowth as if it were an open road. With every step, the canopy thickened, swallowing the last vestiges of daylight and plunging them into a primal twilight. The path grew wilder, more overgrown, until it disappeared altogether. Silas stopped abruptly, pointing with his shovel towards a patch of disturbed earth. It was a shallow grave, hastily dug and poorly concealed. Brody knelt, his heart pounding a frantic rhythm against his ribs. He began to dig with his bare hands, expecting the grim discovery of human remains. Instead, his fingers brushed against something hard, cold, and impossibly ancient. It was a relic, grotesque and non-human in its form. Covered in carvings, it seemed to writhe before his eyes. As he unearthed it, the object began to pulse with a faint, sickly light. A cackle, high and unhinged, echoed from Silas's throat as the relic emitted a low, hypnotic hum that vibrated through the very soil. The hum burrowed into Brody's mind, a siren's call that bypassed reason and seized his will. He was entranced, his movements no longer his own. They felt that pull, an inexorable force drawing him away from the grave and towards the dark, whispering waters of Blackwood Creek. From the deepening shadows, Silas watched, a sinister, triumphant smile playing on his chapped lips. The relic in Brody's hands glowed brighter now, its alien light illuminating the path to the water's edge. He walked like a man in a dream, his feet moving without command, drawn closer and closer to the murky depths. The water lapped at his boots, cold and invasive. The final shot is of Brody's face, his eyes wide not with trance, but with a sudden, dawning horror. A silent scream is frozen on his lips as the creek's surface breaks and he is swallowed whole, pulled under by an unseen force. The glowing relic sinks with him, its light extinguished by the black water, leaving nothing behind but ripples spreading across the surface, and the sound of Silas's laughter fading into the trees.